Morning, guys. It's Chad Granat. It's early Friday morning. I love mornings. My grandpa used to say that the devil must sleep in the morning because mornings were always so peaceful. I want to talk to you a little bit about the weather. The USDA report says that 40% of the nation's corn crop is experiencing a drought. Locally, rain has been spotty. We are in what would be called a moderate drought, and our yields are going to be down. They're still good, but they're going to be down. I've spent an awful lot of my life worrying about the weather. Too much rain, not enough, too hot, too cold, an early frost, hail, wind, all things that can ruin a crop. But what I'm really worrying about is provision. I'm a fourth generation on our family dairy farm, and we've been doing this for 130 years. And Grandpa used to say, God has fed the cows every winter. Some winters better than others, but he's never skipped one yet. I struggle with fear that this could be the year that he doesn't come through. You know, that info from the USDA, that's good, that's important. We need to make informed decisions. But I'd be a lot further ahead if I would read my Bible and pray and make prayerful decisions. There's so many verses in the Bible about rain. Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, farmers who wait for perfect weather never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. I had a neighbor say to me recently, it seemed like it was a lot easier to bale dry hay before I had a smartphone. Job 38:27, who sends rain to satisfy the parched ground and to make the tender grass spring up? There's so many more verses about rain and the weather and provision. But what if God doesn't send enough rain? Or if he doesn't send any at all? If you're involved in agriculture, you'll remember 1988. I remember having community prayer meetings, pray for rain, but it didn't rain. I bet you I easily hauled 100 loads of hay back across the Mackinac Bridge out of the UP that summer. I remember chopping cornfields where there should have been 15 to 18 ton corn and there was 2 or 3 ton to the acre. The plants that did have an ear of corn, so much of the corn was so low the equipment couldn't reach it. It was too low. God wants us to trust the provider, not the provision, to trust him. It's easy to trust God to provide when I can see that provision in a growing crop and enough rain. But there's an old farmer saying, plant in the dust and your bins will bust. A dry spring forces plants' roots to go down, so later in the season they can withstand the dry months of summer. They can reach that subsoil moisture. A wet spring, the roots grow out. They don't have to go down to get water. It's right there. It's easy to get. Then later in the summer, they're much more susceptible to drought or to wind damage. Adversity can breed resilience, while prosperity can breed complacency. Our God isn't about prosperity or poverty. He's about provision for today. Philippians 4:6 says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Tell God what you need, not what you want. They're seldom the same thing. God has been faithful to my family and this farm for 130 years, and he won't stop now. I've often not agreed with how he's provided, but he always has, and my life could have been so much easier if I would have just trusted him. James 1:2-4, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect, complete, needing nothing. The definition of endurance: enduring a difficult or unpleasant process without giving way, living through a drought. If you're in a drought, be thankful that your roots are growing down deep, knowing he'll give you what you need when you need it. If you have a bumper crop, be thankful for that and bless someone who's in a drought. Remember, it's a season, not a life sentence. In a snowstorm, cattle will put their butts to the wind and they'll herd with the storm, staying in the storm until they reach a barrier that they can't cross, and then they'll just stand there and wait it out. Buffalo face the storm. They turn and walk into it and are out of the storm much faster. You can't worry your way out of a drought. Face it and pray your way through it and trust God will provide. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.